Hiya folks, I'm Grim, and welcome to Grim Grooves, a channel where I react to and review music of all kinds. Today we've got the next batch of character demos. This one is Thoma to Shikanoin. I double check what the name is, because I forgot. It is, yeah, Shikanoin, I believe, this one, number 37. So we got another 10 demos to get through today, and I'm excited because every single one of these is blowing me away all the time. The music is always phenomenal, and the characters that they show off are always very interesting, and the production quality is also going up quite a bit, so this will be really cool. But if you've got anything else you'd like me to check out, throw it down in the comments, and while you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. And also on the 18th of this month, September 18th, Wednesday, I'll be streaming on Twitch for the first time. It won't be Genshin just yet, but I'll be streaming at about 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we'll see how far it goes. But I'm excited because I've never really streamed before, and I think it'll be a fun time. I've got an absolute ton of games, and I'll just pick something fun to maybe try out, and we'll just have a good time and see how it goes. Because I like to practice streaming for a little bit before I kind of start doing it on a daily basis or weekly basis or whatever I'm going to be doing going forward. And I'll be streaming Genshin starting on October 4th, the Friday, October 4th, probably also around 6 Pacific Standard Time, but we'll see how it goes. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know as well. But if you like to stop by and hang out and see what I'm all about when I'm not streaming here or just making videos, then you can come hang out. Like I said in another video, my reactions to music are good, but my reactions to video games are equally as entertaining, I think, because I love video games just as much as I love music. So anyways, if you want to check that out, feel free. But if not, we can check out these together. So without further ado, let's check out Thoma, Blazing Defense character demo.
The way I see it, housekeeping is a unique skill set. Cleaning, cooking, and mending are among my greatest strengths. I'm not from Inazuma originally. I took a boat all the way here from Mondstadt. Inazumans are definitely more particular about etiquette than Mondstatters. On that note, if you ever want my lady's opinion, you may have to coax it out of her. She's...
Yeah, I don't like pausing in the middle of dialogue, but I just wanted to mention, like, I didn't know how much further the Inazuma section will be for these characters, because I know the last episode we did was all Inazuma characters, so I'm assuming we'll probably get out of the Inazuma batch this time. But this character is interesting because they're not originally from Inazuma, they're from Mondstadt, and I feel like that might be where the guitar came in there. Maybe it was just kind of emphasizing, like, it's not just traditional Japanese style music, it's also something different, which is an interesting move, and I'm curious to see what his moveset will be. Seems really interesting, kind of like a cool character.
On that note, if you ever want my lady's opinion, you may have to coax it out of her. She's so polite, she doesn't always speak her mind. People whose attention is always focused on other people's weaknesses tend to expose their own weaknesses pretty easily.
Nice.
Check this out! Supporting fire! Hey, how about we go for a nice meal sometime? My treat, of course.
Yeah, definitely a cool character. That was a really awesome melody as well. Like the way that they went from again, traditional Japanese style music to this kind of hard rock melody in the chorus, when it's just like him doing his attacks and stuff, which also looked really cool. The animations again look very awesome for the fighting sequences in this game, and the attack animations also look really interesting. Also, I really enjoy a character with a kind of pike like that, or a glaive, I'm not sure. I think it's more of a pike because it didn't have a curved edge. But anyways, that was really cool. Excited to see what the next one's all about. Gorou. Let's check it out.
The key to seizing victory in battle lies in remembering the meaning of battle and employing the right tactics to generate momentum, making your forces unstoppable. With momentum on our side and close camaraderie, we are unstoppable. General Gorou of the Watatsumi Island Resistance ready and waiting.
this violin coming in is excellent. Like the piano and the drum beat before and everything was very good as well. But I always love a good violin section, and also I love a good archer. So this is really cool. I like this character already, and also the kind of strategic tactician kind of mindset is also always interesting to me, because I resonate with that kind of idea. Because I feel like if I was a character in some kind of anime situation, I'd be more of a tactician myself. But who knows? I mean, it's all theoretical. Like, we're not getting isekai anytime soon, or are we? Let's keep going.
On me! Thank you for your guidance. This is a victory that belongs to the both of us.
Wow. That's really interesting, the attack with like almost a paw mark on the ground. It seemed like it was kind of comboing together to maybe get to the third kind of paw mark to do some kind of special. I'm not sure, but that seemed really cool regardless. I'm curious how that attack works. And also just like the kind of familiar creature. Like I don't know if I really got an answer the last time about how many characters or which characters specifically have animal companions or whatever. This one seems to, which I always enjoy. It's not necessary. It's not a necessity for me to enjoy something or a character or anything like that. It's just an added bonus, like just to see kind of a like little animal companion or minion that you can kind of fight with or something like that. It's really cool. And the music was also phenomenal. Again, I always love a good violin focused melody, and this didn't seem to have any kind of inklings of Inazuma, so maybe we're kind of getting out of the Inazuma batch. But regardless, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love the music from Inazuma and the characters and stuff, but it's just nice to kind of have variety, because the last time it was just purely Inazuma music, and there was a lot of variety within that for sure. But I don't know, I'm just curious to see what's next. So let's keep going. Arataka Itto. Sounds like an Inazuma name.
Oh, come on. The Vision Hunt decree is over.
Ooh. This melody reminds me so much of the main theme of the, what's it called? That Cowboy Bebop movie. It's a fantastic song. I can't think of the name now, but I'll probably put it at the end as my recommendation for the day, because I love that song. Ask DNA is the name of the song. It's fantastic, and it has a really funky bass line just like this does, and I love that.
Come on. The Vision Hunt decree is over. Okay, start at the top. Oh, my beautiful Vision, I know you're up there. Oh, yeah. If you want to take my vision, you're gonna need a lot more people. 'Cause I'm Arataki Itto, the Supreme, the one and only. Now it's showtime!
Ooh, this is growing so nicely. I noticed that this is probably a 5-star character because it's 2.5 minutes long, but that's a really cool character. And also, like, I'm the one and only Oni. That's really cool, like, kind of play on words. And the way that it's building into more of a rock song as well is really interesting, because we started with just a kind of really funky bass track, and now we're going into a more rock focus, which is interesting. I'm curious to see how this melody is going to evolve and what this character's movesets are, because I'm curious. He has a giant club, which is always cool.
The one and only! Now it's showtime! Let's roll!
Don't let him run away! Kujo-Sara is coming!
Run away? No can do. Time to show you what it is that makes my gang stick around! Who wants some of this?
This is really cool. I really like this character. And it seems like I get the feeling that he maybe buffs himself in some way, like maybe has an attack that buffs himself, and then I'm not sure if it changes up his moveset or if it just gives him more strength or whatever, but that's always really cool, like that kind of emblem behind him. It seemed like that was a buff of some sort, which again is always an interesting mechanic to be able to buff yourself, and he seems like more of like a just straight DPS melee damaging character, but it seems really cool so far, and also the music is really funky. Like I really enjoying this music. Like going from the guitar back into like the horn section for that little breakdown. It's very, very cool.
Oh, how nice of you to join us, General Kujo. Are you here to make me beg for mercy, too?
Final warning. Surrender your vision now, Arataki Itto.
Oh, but General, if you join the Arataki gang now, I can show you what dreams are made of. I swear, when I get my vision back, I'm gonna show her,
Boss, looks like it ain't up here.
Huh? I'm sorry, what?
Boss, I think this might be yours. Way down here.
Hey, you better wipe that smirk off your face. Okay, I'm coming up there.
Yeah, seems like an awesome character. Kind of gang leader turned ally eventually, I'm guessing. Yeah, that was awesome. And again, the music was absolutely phenomenal. Like, it had some little, like, inklings of Inazuma themes in it, but overall, it was just, like, a very funky kind of rock track with an interesting horn section there. And at the, like, some of it had a really interesting, like, bass breakdown as well as really good drums. I mean, rock music almost always has to have really good drums, but they definitely hit it out of the park with this one. And just seemed like a really interesting character. I don't know what they were talking about when they were talking about his vision, because his eyes, like, I don't think it's his visual vision, like his eyes. It's probably something else, maybe something he calls his vision. I don't know. But it's still really interesting and really intriguing. I'm curious to learn more eventually when I play the game. This will be awesome. Let's keep going. Yunjin is next.
My name is Yunjin. It's such a pleasure to finally meet you, and I'd be honored to have you attend a performance sometime. The Yunhan Opera Troupe has been under my leadership for quite some time now. Life mirrors opera, just as opera reflects life. It's what I truly love, and it's what I will be pursuing for the rest of my life.
This one's also quite funky. It's really interesting that, like, it has, again, the kind of Inazuma main theme, or not main theme, but like Inazuma soundscape, while also kind of going into a little more like, again, a funky beat with a, like, that drum beat in the background and like just the synth going on there. Like, it's really unique, even amongst Inazuma music. Like, this is quite interesting so far. I'm curious how it'll build.
It's what I truly love, and it's what I will be pursuing for the rest of my life. Many of Liyue's legends are centered around stories of gods and the Adepti, so most operas focus on the supernatural too. But in this age of humanity, I would rather like to tell stories about ordinary people. I began my training in the art of the spear, hoping to enhance my performance in stage combat. I stuck with it, hoping to master the techniques of self-defense. I believe I've grasped the basics now.
Seems like more of a Dex character with fast flurrying at movesets. It's really cool. And also it's interesting that the music kind of shifted from, I mean, I may have misattributed it in the very beginning to being more of an Inazuma style melody, and it was more of a Liyue style melody, because it definitely has more of a Chinese soundscape now, which is really interesting, because obviously this character seems like they're from Liyue. But yeah, this is it's really interesting. And again, the electronic elements are really helping kind of build out this melody and make it more interesting too. This is awesome.
Master the techniques of self-defense. I believe I've grasped the basics now. I dare say you'd better be careful when we're sparring together in the future. And step. Flex up. Observe. Strike is one.
Oh, I forget what the song's name is, but that specifically reminded me so much of the one specific song that was in the Shanghai Symphony, and it's been in the Reflections of Spring as well. But yeah, I believe it has devastation in the name, and being that this character obviously does opera, I'm fairly certain that this is the character who does that opera, that just the crazy vocals. I mean, you probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's like one of the best vocals I've heard in any of these games so far, because it's just really crazy. But yeah, this was like that specific soundbite, and I want to get it again just to kind of... Yeah. I think it doesn't sound as good here as it does in the other one, but it's just so good. I just kind of lost my train of thought when I heard that, because I was like, oh no, oh my god, this is that big. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is that it seemed like they have flags around them, which I'm guessing is another kind of like character buff, but in this instance, I have a feeling that this character buffs other players around them, whereas the other guy, he seemed like he probably just buffs himself. So Arataki Itto or whatever. But yeah, this is really interesting, and the mechanics are kind of building more and more, and I'm learning a little bit more. I could be just assuming out of nowhere, and I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to like the buffs and things like that, but that's kind of the feeling I get for those kinds of animations and stuff. But regardless, this is very cool, and the music's fantastic, so let's keep going. Shenhe, Crane of the Wild.
Halt!
Ninja?
This explains all the demonic activity. It was all you're doing. This ends now!
Oh?
A cryo avatar! Who are you?
Demons are masters of deception. Never let down your guard.
Very cool. Got like the almost talismans, like Japanese style talismans floating around them, and that avatar was really interesting. Lonesome Transcend. This character seems really cool so far from what I've seen. There's not too much for the melody just yet. It's very like kind of wondrous at this point, but we'll see how it builds and how it goes.
Never let down your guard.
Unleash! Transfiguration!
I think we're shifting up kind of themes and music now, but I just want to talk about the last one because it was very Inazuma kind of soundscape, but also really interesting, like very, again, adventurous, very like, had the earlier parts had some kind of like magical, mystical qualities to it, and I think there is some of that in the main melody as well, but overall it was just a really solid, like, kind of adventurous, kind of Liyue, or not, Inazuma style theme, kind of Japanese soundscape, which is really cool. I really enjoyed this so far, and it seems, like I said, we're going to probably mix up the melodies to something else now.
Mind be purged, world be saved!
Cryo incarnate!
This demonic activity is an omen of impending disaster. Perhaps Master was right.
Thank you for rendering your assistance. I see you're also an adept exorcist. Some of your techniques look quite familiar, so I'm wondering...
I am Shenhe, I roam these mountains. You needn't worry about me. But your temperature seems unusually high. Are you all right?
Oh, my popsicle! I almost forgot! Wait, Shenhe? Wait, so you're my auntie?
Small world. Small Tevat. But yeah, that was really cool. Like, I have a feeling this character maybe is able to send out, like, the ice version of themselves, like, away from, like, kind of as a ranged attack maybe, or something like that. Or maybe it's just for their ultimate or special ability where they're able to kind of summon these ice avatars in order to fight. But it's a really cool idea and mechanic, and another interesting pike user. And that music was also really interesting, the kind of breakdown in the middle there where it got a lot more intense. It was really nice. And another thing I wanted to mention is that it was nice to be able to see some of the kind of enemies you fight in the game, because at this point I haven't really seen a whole lot other than like a few random mobs in the background of these kind of demo videos, because I don't really know exactly what the enemy styles, the enemy types of this game is. But it was really cool seeing it like transform into a bigger creature after it was like cornered and stuff. I don't know if that's a mechanic in the game or if it was just kind of something they did for this sequence here, but it's a really cool idea, and I always like that as a style in games when enemies can kind of become stronger or transform into something new. But anyways, let's keep going. Yae Miko, maybe.
I then found myself reborn as Guji Yae, leading shrine maidens in sacred matters, sipping tea and kneeling in solemn meditation, and making appearances to listen to shrine visitors.
Enough. Oh, this won't do. We're making a light novel here, not a dry documentary.
Huh?
And honestly, do you really think I lead such a boring existence?
No, not at all, Lady Guji.
That's chief editor to you.
Yes, chief editor.
A light novel begins with pure imagination. For example, I must say, this is quite the cunning trap.
She's like a very kind of I don't know, very otaku kind of vibe I get from this. It's like almost self-insert for one of the like the character or the creators of the game. Maybe it's like, I like light novels, so I'm gonna put myself in this character as a light novelist. I don't know. It's really interesting though, and also the melody at the very beginning when they were kind of describing the how a shrine maiden should be and stuff. The music was very peaceful, very calm, and now it's getting into like her imagination of what it should be, and it's picking up a lot and it's getting more interesting, and I'm curious what this dream sequence will be.
I must say, this is quite the cunning trap.
That was really interesting. I don't know if she can like set spots around an enemy and then make a circle by doing that, or if it's just like one fluid motion, but still being able to teleport around like that is really interesting. I always like some good evasion mechanics where you can kind of get out of the way of danger if you're quick enough and stuff like that. And this character seems very quick, which is really interesting. And also the melody is, again, it kind of crescendo there and became a little more intense, but now it's kind of back to a more mellow, chill vibe. Like this character is like, even if they're in a crazy situation, they're still fairly level-headed and calm, it seems like. By the music is what I'm assuming that by. But they also seem fairly like self-assured as a character and stuff. So this is really interesting. I'm curious how it'll mix up in the next minute and a half.
But have I walked into your trap, or have you walked into mine? I'm always watching.
These animations are crazy. Like were some intense sequences. Like I don't think since the Raiden Shogun animation I haven't seen anything that crazy in a sequence. This is probably another 5-star character because it's a little bit longer, but that was still very, very cool looking. And the melody is really interesting too. Like that drum beat is really catchy, and just there's a little bit of synth elements in there too, as well as the kind of standard Inazuma kind of soundscape elements that are all in most of these, because I believe we're still in the Inazuma sphere. But at least we've gotten a few different characters from different areas that kind of mix things up that weren't just straight Japanese soundscapes. But yeah, this is really interesting too. Like really interesting character design, and the animations for these attacks and stuff. Like again, I don't think that this happens like every single time they attack. It's just for the video, but it's still very stylized and very cool.
I admit defeat. Just do it. Exercise me.
Exorcise you? But I thought you weren't ready to return to the cycle. So first, let me show you what a cruel world this can be.
No!
Oh, it's so graphic. You'd never really do something like that, would you?
Splendid. When the reader starts asking that question, you know you've written a good one.
Good old femme fatale. Very awesome looking character. I think that's the first one I've seen like that that's very, like, I don't know, very self-assured. Like, the only one I can think of maybe is Raiden Shogun, but I haven't really seen much dialogue or anything like that from that character. But they definitely seem like that very, like, confident, like, strong woman, which is always cool as a character to fight as and play as. But let's see what's next. Kamisato Ayato. Okay. Another 5-star.
Do not expose your identities, and wait for the signal before you act.
Yes, sir.
Grand festivals like this monopolize the Tenryou Commission's resources. Your timing is impeccable. Pity you were all they sent.
Let's go for a stroll. We wish to discuss cooperation with the Yashiro Commission.
A humble suggestion. The Fatui would do well to update their intelligence concerning me. Ah, but of course, that would require one of you to return in one piece.
This is a really cool melody right now, like right now, but it just, I'm blown away by like how interesting that melody is. And I'm actually going to go back probably 10 seconds to get that again, because it was a really interesting mix up. Like at first I thought it might just be another standard, like Inazuma fare, which is fine. Again, I really enjoy Japanese style music, but it kind of shifted up and we got this really crazy mix up here. That's just really unique. And also this character seems like a badass as well.
Require one of you to return in one piece.
Like the synth and that kind of drum beat, like that ticking drum beat, and then we got the kind of strings again in the background from the more Inazuma style, Japanese style instruments, and really, really cool. Very, very cool. Flute as well.
Cascade.
Your foe.
If assassinating me was that simple, I can name a few rival clans who would have had an easier time over the years.
Kamisato art. Suiyu.
Seems like he might have like an AoE ability where like maybe a special is like he just attacks every enemy in an area around him without even moving, like really fast swordsmanship. Always like a good katana user as well, like just for style and everything like that. Very cool. And also again, that melody was fantastic, like so dynamic and so interesting. Going back from like the a little more electronic elements to incorporating in the Inazuma elements as well on top of that, and the flute section there, and yeah, it was just all very, very good. Like probably my favorite song that I've heard today so far.
My lord, we failed to protect you.
I do not keep the Shumatsuban for the trivial matter of dealing with assassins.
Trivial?
So, what's the situation?
The operation went smoothly. The resistance platoon is hidden near Tenshikaku. Forgive me, sir, but taking this level of risk, it seems out of character.
Let's just say, I'm doing a small favor for my sister.
Who is his sister? Very, very cool character, though. Very cool design, very cool animations, and the music, again, was fantastic. Let's see what we got next. Yelan, Shadow in the Rain.
Leaving the city? It's a real jungle out there. They say there's this group of guys now who always come out in the rain, since it drowns out the cries for help and washes away any sign of a struggle.
That all sounds perfect.
You sure have nerves of steel, ma'am.
Do you like jazz? I do. This is really cool jazz breakdown right now. And I definitely get the feel of like a noir character. Like maybe this is a detective or some kind of like investigator of some sort. But I definitely get some like, again, 40s, 50s noir vibes. Like, it's really cool.
You sure have nerves of steel, ma'am.
Stop! Now hand over your goods!
Bandits! Help! Help!
Been waiting long? I figured. Well, the waiting game is over.
Another femme fatale with another funky jazz melody, which is I always love. I always love that type of shit stuff. Sorry, but anyways, this is fantastic.
Gotcha.
That seemed like an attack that might like tag enemies as you run past them or something like that. I don't know if it was just done for this video, but that was really cool. Really cool attack sequence, and just being able to like, it seemed like she almost went invisible as she was moving. Like maybe it's kind of some kind of water effect or something. But again, very, very cool. Like I'd be interested to see how this actually plays in game.
Someone revealed my plans to you in advance, and you didn't think to run. What can I say? Much obliged.
I surrender! Please, let me go! You'll never see me again!
Oh, so now you're afraid. Oh, I'm sorry, but this is too little, too late.
Out of the action, now back to kind of a downbeat, just kind of mellow bass guitar riff. But I also wanted to mention the kind of using, I think, strings of water as your attacks attached to like a dice block. That's a really interesting mechanic. Again, I don't know if that's their main moveset, main moveset, or because I did see she had a bow and arrow as well, and I don't know if that's just every character can use a bow and their normal weapon. I don't know exactly, but still, it's very, very cool and very stylish character. Looks like it's very, very cool.
I'm sorry, but this is too little, too late.
No, wait! I know who gave you away! I'll tell you! No, I'll take you to them myself!
Smart decision. Get up. Chop chop. Let's go and pay your friends a little visit.
I knew she would say that. That was really cool. And again, the music keeps being so diverse. Like, I think there was some elements of Inazuma kind of soundscape there, but for the most part, it was just like a very, very funky, jazzy, like, chill, again, noir style melody. Like, that was really awesome. Very badass character again, too. Kuki Shinobu. Is this a ninja?
I wear a mask because I don't want to be recognized by anybody. I'm Kuki Shinobu, deputy leader of the Arataki gang. My primary responsibilities are to bring in business and maintain a stable team, as well as bailing out the gang from the police station. Being in the gang means having lots of free time. I often finish reading a whole book or even pass a certificate exam.
This is interesting that another member of the Arataki gang has the kind of a similar guitar melody as the leader did. So this is, I'm curious if it'll mix up, because again, the kind of juxtaposition between the typical Inazuma soundscape and like electric guitar melodies, they mesh very, very well. And again, Hoyoverse and Miyoho, they do a fantastic job being able to marry different styles of music together and fit to the characters they're supposed to be representing, or the areas or the bosses or whatever. And this is no different. Like, it very much seems like the characters of this specific group all have a similar theme around them. And yeah, so far it's really interesting.
Lots of free time. I often finish reading a whole book or even pass a certificate exam before I even realize it. Just let me know if you ever find yourself in a pinch. I can help you out.
This one has a funky bass track. I don't remember that the other Arataki member had a funky bass track. It was more just electric guitar and really interesting melodies. But yeah, this is awesome, and definitely seems like a ninja to me.
Sorry for them. They need to learn their lesson.
Shinobu, time to roll.
That was a fantastic melody.
Don't tell me they did it again.
Yeah, that melody was very, very good. Like, just very rock, very kind of electronic elements and stuff with, again, some Inazuma elements too there. But that was very cool. And also, this is now the third character from this batch that we've seen that had some kind of buff around them. And I get the feeling that this one, like, each one seems to have a different feeling to it, or for me anyways. Just haven't played as many games as I've played and stuff. I get the feeling that her kind of AoE around her, or not AoE, but like her kind of buff that she has around her is probably one that damages enemies when it comes to contact with them. Like the first guys, it seemed like he buffs himself, who was the other member of this same kind of thief group, it seems like. The second one, it seemed like they buff other people, is the kind of vibe I get. Whereas this one, it seems like it's kind of like a defensive barrier around the character, that when enemies come in contact with it, it probably hurts them, is the kind of vibe I get. I could be wrong, and maybe it just buffs the damage or something, but still very interesting. And the design, everything looks really cool, and the whole like Thunder Ninja, very, very cool as well. Like, this is awesome. And we come to the last one, Shikanoin Heizou. See what this one is.
The name's Shikanoin Heizou, sharpest and most successful detective of the Tenryou Commission. Detective agencies spend too much time investigating extramarital affairs and tracking down runaway pets. And it goes without saying that fighting thugs and fetching things isn't my kind of work.
It's funny that, oh, I think we're getting an accordion coming in here, but it's funny that the other character we heard before, or saw before, was more of a, again, the melody was more of a noir, like 50s noir detective theme. This character is a detective, but the music you hear in the background is very like energetic, very like carefree almost, like very adventurous as a theme. Just very different from, again, the kind of noir, bassy, jazz theme that we had before. This is very cool though. I'm curious to learn more about this character.
It goes without saying that fighting thugs and fetching things isn't my kind of work. A true detective uses their smarts to outwit criminals at every single turn. You keep following the clues until you find the culprit. And you don't stop until every last piece of the puzzle is in place. There are always those people who resort to violence at the very last second, as if that'll somehow solve their problems. Yeah! Yeah! Fracture! Confess!
It's a really cool melody. Like, you got the electric guitar in there, you got the strings. Earlier we had the accordion section. Like, it's so diverse, and also the drums were also really interesting there. Like, overall, just a really well-rounded melody for just a minute and a half worth of this character's theme. But it's very, very cool.
Let's just hope the rain hasn't washed all the clues away.
Yeah, really interesting. Very, like, light-hearted kind of detective, but it seems like doesn't take things too seriously and just has a good time. Didn't really get to see too much of the fighting sequence, like the actual move sets of this character, but it's all right. Like, it's only a minute and a half, so I'm guessing this is like a 3-star or less character. So they usually just don't round it out as much and show some of the crazier abilities, but it's still really interesting as a character. He seems very interesting, and those melodies were very, very good. Like, yeah, this is one of my top 3 for the music that I've heard in this batch of 10. But yeah, that was fun. I mean, every single one of these that I do, I see more and more of the game, learn more about the game and the mechanics and the gameplay and stuff, and it just keeps blowing me away because it's always so awesome. Like, and I can't stop saying it's so cool, because it is. It's just, I could say other things, maybe pick up a thesaurus and start looking through, or like look online to find different adjectives or I don't know, whatever. But anyways, that was awesome. Very good music, very cool characters, and yeah, I'm just learning more and more about this, and it's very, very cool. Again, very, very cool. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, watching my reaction to these crazy demos. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as I said, the 18th, I'll be streaming on Twitch for the first time if you want to come by and check it out. But anyways, until next time, later days, folks.
Do it then.